every birthday can be a reminder to start fresh, especially those on the sobriety journey. In the sponsored segment is Regina Dickinson, a licensed clinical social worker at Intermountain Dayspring Clinic in Logan. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on today.
You came on a good day, right?
Yes, happy birthday.
Okay, so we're talking about sobriety, so we have some options too. Mocktails are always good, but let's talk about the Dayspring Clinic and what you do there at Intermountain in Logan.
So at the Dayspring Clinic, we are there up in Logan, and we are there and we have an intensive outpatient program. That's 9 hours a week for people to come in. That's a little bit more intense. And then they graduate to our general outpatient clinic. And our general outpatient clinic is about 2 hours a week. Because as we know, if you're on the recovery journey, it takes a long time.
It almost takes a lifetime, some people would say. And when we talk about Logan, and I asked you, is there an issue there in Logan? And you said it's everywhere, across the state when it comes to sobriety. And we're talking about alcohol and drugs.
We are, yes. We are seeing fentanyl on the rise in the state of Utah just tremendously. And it's in big towns, small towns, it's everywhere.
It's across the country, truly.
Yes,
it's skyrocketing. So when it comes to fentanyl, and when we talk about alcohol, what is available when it comes to this intensive outpatient? What are we hoping that these folks who come in get out of it?
Well, we're hoping that, once again, people realize that this is a chronic disease. This is a lifelong disease. And because it's a chronic disease, everybody needs to be on board to support you in your recovery. So what that means is we have families that come in and we will do some family sessions so your family can support you and understand, because you need to have that education about what is addiction. How can I best support my loved one in this journey? So we offer family classes for people to come in and learn about that. And then also too in the community, it's so important for us to realize as a community, we need to support the people that are in recovery. And how can we do that? By getting the word out, by having education. Everybody needs to understand what addiction is and that it's a chronic disease and how we can best fight it in our communities.
And I think that truly is key, the educational part, but also bringing in the family, that component is really important to have that support. And also if they didn't know, that you have everyone around knowing how to reach that same goal.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And getting rid of the stigma that's associated with it. A lot of times that's what keeps people from treatment. You know, you don't want to go into work, you don't want to go to your family and say, hey, I have an addiction issue. So that stigma keeps people from treatment. And that's why it's great that we want everybody to understand what addiction is.
And Regina, what should we not do if there is a loved one in your family or someone you spend time with who is struggling with sobriety?
Well, the first thing we need to not do is shame. Usually we shame by saying, why can't you just stop? Just stop already. You're affecting the family. You're affecting everybody around you. You need to stop. You know, and a lot of times we use what we call tough love, right? Well, if you don't stop, and why don't you stop? So instead what we say is no. Instead, understand this is a chronic disease, and how can I best help you manage your symptoms?
To keep those boundaries can be very hard. Something else that you pointed out that surprised me, don't use other distractions like television and other things. Why?
Well, once again, what we want you to do is we want you to engage healthy coping skills. Right? So you've been using a coping skill that's unhealthy. So what we want to do is we want to teach you healthy coping skills. And that's what we do at Dayspring. You come in, and in that 9 hours a week that you're there, we're going to teach you all of those healthy coping skills. And how do I use those, and when do I use those?
And what's really key too is if everyone had a naloxone kit.
Oh, yes. Naloxone prevents overdose. So if there is an overdose and you have a naloxone kit, you immediately use it, and that person will be popped out. We call it popped out of overdose, and then immediately go to the emergency room. And you've saved a life. And it's simple and it's affordable. And even at Dayspring, we have free naloxone kits. So people can come, and any family member that comes in, we give them a naloxone kit to use for their families.
Regina, thank you so much for being on our birthday show. What an important topic and timely with birthdays being celebrated. And of course, if you would like to know more information about the Dayspring Clinic there in Logan, that number is 801-314-2600, or you can go to intermountainhealth.org. Thanks again. And